Hey guys, back on the 800 subscriber contest video, I had a lot of comments left about this guy who is behind me. How did you make him? Can you do a how-to? Can you sell him to me and mail him to my house? So I figured I will try to do the best how-to description I can without building another one or taking him off the wall because he is kind of fragile. Basically, he is sort of a composite of a bunch of scrap stuff we had lying around. His rib cage and the back side of his head are made up of chicken wire. It's just a hand-formed chicken wire frame. And then over top of the rib cage and the arms, it's plaster casting like strips sort of wrapped around, and then just wet plaster to form sort of the shapes. It's all hand done. The rib cage is not from a mold or anything we had. The skull is from a mold that we had done. The front part, the back side is all sort of hand just crafted and designed because we didn't have a full skull mold. We just had sort of front faceplate features molded. They were mainly done for these wall plaques that we had, and we had used those skulls also for some of these stalactite like chandeliers we did. And we used them a lot, and we just had, they were so easy. We had tried many different castings and molds. We tried to do the sand casting. We did paper mache for bones. We had bought the store-bought plastic or foam bones and tried different casting methods with those. And we found that just using plaster to mold basically all bones and skulls was the quickest for like turnaround for what we were building. But that's the only part on him that is from like a mold. Everything else on here is just hand done. The arms are basically formed with some thick wire all the way out into the fingers, and you can actually see maybe at the tips of the fingers there's some wire showing through where some of the plaster is chipped off. Same idea, just wrapping a bunch of the plaster strips. They sort of basically are the same thing that you would get a cast of. And then putting thicker clumps of the plaster around it to form a better bone shape. The shoulders, the ribs, everything are just sort of hand molded. Now, as for the string and rope on it, it's just store-bought yarn, and that black cord right up there is on there because in 2010, when he was out for Halloween, he got a little bit wet in a really quick rainstorm. And from that and from moving him around, his neck started to get really weak. And basically I had to glue it and put some sealant on there so it would not get wet and stay together. And then I wrapped that black cable around just for added safety. And it creates a better effect. It just looks like he's better tied up to the stake or to the cross. The cross is just some scrap wood that was laying in the backyard. And the paint job on him is a mixture of spray paint. There's actually, you can see like a green tinge to him. That's spray paint. The rest of the main parts of his body are all acrylic paint, and then there's some fake blood mixed in for the red coloring. Some of the paint had started to sort of chip off in some areas, so last year he was going to go out, so I put all this fake blood on him, and he ended up not going out because the weather was sort of shitty, and I was afraid he was going to get wet again. So if all plans go correctly, this year he will be a backdrop piece for the ritual scene, basically tied up on his cross, but a big row of rebar, and then the ritual scene with the candles and the guy coming up out of the ground with the pentagram above him and all that stuff. So that's about it. There's really not much else to describe on him. The only other stuff that's on him, there's some freaky fabric that's been torn apart in many pieces and then dipped in like that stiffy fabric stiffener stuff, and then just draped on top of them, so to create sort of some fleshy skin and tendrils and stuff. But that's it, guys. Hope you learned something, kind of, but that is the skeleton Scarecrow. I want to mention two things real quick before I forget. A lot of you have already left a comment on my 800 subscriber contest video, which thank you very much. It's up until Thursday, this coming Thursday at midnight, you have to leave a comment, but you also need to leave a thumbs up. And for as many comments as there are, there's only about half as many thumbs up. So if for some reason you didn't, or you forgot, or you're not sure, go back to the video and please like it. That's all you got to do to enter, is the comment and the thumbs up. And be subscribed. But the other thing I want to mention is a long time ago, 4 months ago now I think, I had put up a video of a fellow haunter, John, Season of Shadows, who had passed away. And I got an email this evening from his friend who they found some footage of him working on a prop back in 2010 that had been lost. The video has been uploaded to a YouTube channel, Camille Coyne. It's Camile and then Coyne, all one word. And it's basically of him working on a prop that he was building in 2010, and it's like webcam footage, but the story of sort of how they found it and where it came from is pretty interesting. If you read the description on that video, it's the name of the video is called like John Wolfe of Season of Shadows working on props 2010. But it's cool to see him again in a way. I always enjoyed watching him doing his builds of his paper mache stuff, and he did like a live webcam footage on Halloween nights of the haunt being set up, and just throughout Halloween night, trick-or-treaters and stuff. So go check that out and give them, a thumbs up and leave a little comment just for, the memory of John. So that's it. I just want to mention those two things. So here's the most recent update on my Totem prop. I have got his body color the way I want it. It's a nice dark muddy brown. Kind of looks like poop on the camera. It's not what it really looks like in person, I swear. But I made his beak dark black, blending into the face a little bit. His little fingers and his feet are black, and he has black knee joints and black elbows. There's quite a bit of highlighting of like black and really dark brown throughout his body as well. And then all I have left to do is the wings, which I'm going to do in a light gray. I decided I'm going to try to make those stand out a lot from the body, but I like the overall final color. It sort of has a wooden look to it a little bit in person, which kind of goes with the whole, totem pole, totem bird head creature, aspect of him. So just a little bit more. One more night of painting and he'll be done. Currently in the process of editing the first episode of the Video Game Sellers series. It's so much friggin' work. It's the most editing I've ever done. It's not even going to be, I'm not trying to make it seem like this magical gigantic thing, but I'm trying to make it a little nicer with maybe a little music added to it, and some better cuts between just a quick little fade in and out. So I'm going to spend a few days working on it, and in between that, tomorrow, a Sunday, I'm going to go over to Walter's house, watch a movie. So maybe you guys can say hi to Walter. I'll film him real quick. And I still need to go over to my friend's Jim's house to just hang out and see his haunt shit and see if he wants to maybe sell some of his stuff or whatever. But I still don't know exactly what day that is. So in between doing all that, finishing prop over there, paint job, and going back, getting back over to my parents' house. So busy weekend, busy week ahead. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Peace.